Hey everyone, Alex here. I talk about self-improvement, simple living, focus and purpose. And today I wanted to share the 10 fragrances that I would not repurchase. And I'm well aware that this video is going to annoy some people and I'm fully prepared for that to happen. But I really value honesty and transparency. And my last fragrance video that I made was talking about how I manage my fragrance addiction and how I've managed to get on top of that. And in that, I was talking about some really popular fragrances that I love that I wouldn't necessarily rebuy. And I thought that it would be important to kind of de-influence some of these fragrances and just talk about the reality of some of those fragrances for me. So I've got 10, a lot of these are really quite popular fragrances that I would not rebuy. Some of them I even like, but if I'm being honest, I'm just not going to rebuy them. And there are a few reasons why, but let's just jump into the first fragrance and start talking about it. So the very first fragrance that I wouldn't rebuy, and this is going to hurt some people, is Terre d'Hermès. Now this fragrance, as you can see, I've actually worn a lot, but for whatever reason, this is the eau de toilette, I've just stopped enjoying it. And it's just not, it doesn't serve the purpose that I had wanted it to serve for a really long time. And it's really quite renowned as one of the best men's fragrances of all time, especially one of the best designer men's fragrances of all time. It's known as a formal, sophisticated, almost, I hate this word, but like an old money fragrance. And it is a nice fragrance, but in my opinion, it's actually not all that formal. It just kind of smells like dirty, earthy orange. And to me, that's not very formal. It's almost a little bit stuffy. And I just don't enjoy it as much as I think I want to enjoy it. And I see all these fragrance videos online where people are talking, like it's in everyone's top 10 list, especially for like daily wear. It's in everyone's top 10 list. And there are so many fragrance reviewers that just hype up Terre d'Hermès as just one of the greatest men's fragrances ever. And it's just not for me. So I have worn it a lot, but I've also owned it for about 5 years. And I'm still only like halfway through the bottle, a little bit over halfway. But I've actually given this to my dad because he enjoys this a lot more than I do. So I'm glad that I've been able to give it to another person. But for me, it's really just not all that special. It's just quite, I don't know, it's just dirty, earthy orange. And to me, that's really not what I want to smell like on a daily basis, or especially not if I'm in a formal setting. I think there are much more appropriate fragrances. So the first fragrance that I won't be rebuying is Terre d'Hermès, either the eau de toilette or any really of the other flankers. Second one, and this hurts me to say, this genuinely hurts me because this is one of my favorite fragrances of all time, is La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. So for me, this is actually one of my favorite fragrances. And I bought this relatively recently. I think I bought this, I rebought it about 3-4 months ago. I ran out, I've got like 2 mil, if that, left in my old bottle that I bought in maybe 2017. And I refuse to use it because it's so special. It's so much stronger. It's so much deeper and richer compared to this, the newest version. This is just watered down. It maybe lasts about half an hour and it just doesn't smell nearly as deep, dense or rich as it used to. And that's why I'm not going to be rebuying it, because as much as I love the scent, even if I overspray this, it doesn't last. No one can really smell it. And even if they can, it's just not the same anymore. It's watered down. It is nowhere near as special as it used to be. Even on close encounter, like dates, if I'm going out with my partner, there are much more appropriate fragrances that I would be wearing, even though this is renowned as one of the best date fragrances of all time. So unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say that, La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent will not be being added to my collection if I ever run out of this, which to be honest, I probably won't, because I basically don't wear it. I use this as like air freshener in my car now. So that's the second one. The third, and this is gonna hurt some people. Actually, I'm gonna do both of these, third and fourth, because they kind of go hand in hand. We've got Tusk and Leather by Tom Ford and Tobacco Vanille, obviously also by Tom Ford. Both of these fragrances I want to love so much more than I do. And I didn't blind buy them, but I bought them without really testing them on my skin. And they're just not for me. Like tobacco vanille, I really love the idea of. It's supposed to evoke like a classic London gentleman's club tobacco, leather. It's got the dried fruits, it's spicy, it's warm, it's opulent, and it is, but I don't really want to smell like that. Like, to me, I love tobacco. This is too much like pipe tobacco, and all I'm getting is pipe tobacco more than anything else. I don't even really get the vanilla. It's like opening up a bag of tobacco and inhaling it, and that's all I can smell. And it's just too strong, and it's almost a little bit astringent to me. It like almost stings my nostrils a little bit when I smell it. And I want to love it so bad, but I just don't. I've basically not used it. I've worn it once or twice. I remember wearing this on a date. I went to the zoo with my partner, and I sprayed this, and I accidentally oversprayed it. I was down this rabbit hole of overspraying, which I wouldn't recommend, by the way. But I sprayed this, like, for me, 5 times is way too much fragrance when it comes to something like tobacco vanille. For lighter fragrances, I might spray more than that, but for this, it's just too much because this is so strong. And my partner hated it. She was absolutely repulsed. And I remember, I don't know if it was just that I was aware of it, but as I was walking through the zoo, and the zoo doesn't smell amazing at the best of times, but I had all of these people that I was getting close to, like walking past, turn, and I got so many like not very good side eyes from people, and it's kind of put me off this fragrance. So as much as I really love the concept of it, and I love Tom Ford as a brand, I actually really love Tom Ford as a brand, I just don't really like this like I thought that I would. Tusk and Leather is the same. For me, I really loved this when I tried it in store, and I had tried it a number of times, and I was getting just this beautiful, expensive smelling leather, which is what you would expect. Like I've sat in a number of quite expensive, like Ferraris and really expensive cars like that. This smells like the seat of a Ferrari is what it smells like, which is really nice, like a brand new Ferrari. But every time I tried it in store, it was beautiful. And then as soon as I bought this bottle, this to me smells like an old ashtray. All I'm getting is just old stale cigarettes. And that's it. I'm basically getting no leather. It's basically a completely different scent, which really frustrates me because I really love Tusk and Leather. And I don't know if this is a bad bottle or a bad batch or not. I know that it's legitimate because I bought it from David Jones, which is here. They're like one of our bigger department stores, and they stock obviously legitimate brands. So I bought it from their full retail, and it just smells like an old ashtray, so I refuse to wear it. So number 3 and 4 fragrances that I will not be rebuying: Tusk and Leather and Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford, unfortunately. I love them. I love the bottles too. These are cool bottles, but I will not be rebuying them. Okay, so that's 3 and 4. The 5th fragrance that I won't be rebuying is myself Eau de Parfum, or whatever the new release is either. I got this because I really liked the opening of it when I tried it. It's fruity, it's woody. I like the fact that it's not like super different. Sometimes you want a little bit of a generic fragrance, and this is very generic, and I like it. I don't mind it. But as I started wearing it, even though my partner loves it, I can't stand smelling it on myself. It's so synthetic. I don't know if it's just like a white floral thing, but I don't seem to like fragrances with a lot of white florals. This to me, I don't like the orange blossom in it. It smells too synthetic for me, and it's just like always there, and I can't quite get it out of my nostrils. So as much as this is actually quite a nice scent, this is a really good scent for like high schoolers, I find, but for me, it's just not something that I want to rebuy. So even though I appreciate the fact that I got this for about, I think it was $89, and compared to a lot of other designer fragrances, that's quite cheap here in Australia, I just don't really like it all that much, to be honest. So I think I prefer it on other people compared to on myself. So that is Myself by YSL. I don't care which version of it, I will not be rebuying it again. So that's number 5. Number 6, and this is where I'm gonna hurt a lot of people, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of negative comments for this. Grand Soir by MFK. So I have actually worn this, but I've only worn this a lot because I've forced myself to wear it because it was expensive and I didn't want to feel like I wasted my money. but I remember I was in Sydney Airport with my partner and I smelled this in store and it was really nice in store. And this seems to be a recurring theme for a lot of these fragrances. I smelled this in store, I really liked it. I tried it on my skin and was absolutely blown away by it. And then I bought the bottle and this to me is too balsamic, it's too resinous. I really just actually don't enjoy it that much. And whilst I can appreciate the fragrance as a whole, like it is a nice fragrance, I don't enjoy wearing it. I don't enjoy smelling like this. I also think for the price that I paid, I think this was maybe 380 Australian. I think, I could be wrong. It's really basic. It's basically just amber and vanilla. And I feel like it doesn't smell as expensive as everybody says it smells like. Like a lot of people say it smells so opulent and it smells so sophisticated and refined. And I'm like, it's just amber and vanilla. And that's pretty much it. I feel like you could get this same smell for way cheaper. So as much as I think this is probably the most beautiful looking bottle. The bottle itself looks elegant. The actual fragrance, like the juice itself, looks beautiful. It's such a lovely, rich color. I love the lettering on it as well. How it kind of, yeah, it looks beautiful, but it doesn't smell half as amazing as I remember it smelling. And it doesn't smell anywhere near as incredible as everybody online says that it does. So I will not be rebuying this. Even if it was half the price, I still wouldn't buy it because I think this smells kind of cheap and very, very basic, especially for what you pay for it. So the presentation alone, I love. I wish that I preferred wearing this more, but I just don't really. So that is number 6 that I will not be rebuying is MFK's Grand Soir. Okay, number 7. I'm sure a lot of people probably would feel the same way about this. Dior Sauvage in any, I don't care which flanker, I don't care if it's the Parfum, I don't care if it's Eau de Parfum, I don't care if it's Eau Forte, I don't care if it's Elixir, I don't even enjoy Elixir. Just the Sauvage DNA in general, I think is so overdone and it's so scratchy and in your face and it is synthetic and it's just too sickening for me. And I really enjoyed it when it came out, but I think that I've just smelt it a lot in public and it's kind of put me off. And it's always the same types of people that I see wearing it and it's just made me not really want to wear it as much. And because that's all I can associate it with are these specific types of people. And yeah, it also just, it doesn't smell amazing. I have a feeling this has gone through a reformulation or two because I remember my first bottle of this I got, I think I got it like the week that it was released. It was either 2015 or 2016. I think it was 2015. And I got a bottle the week that it was released and I loved it and it's all I wore. It was my only fragrance and I loved it at the time. But I also think the reason I loved it is because my fragrance knowledge was a lot more limited. This was the only fragrance that I had, so I didn't have anything else to compare it to. And now I have about 42 fragrances. I've got a lot that in the scenarios where I would wear Dior Sauvage, I would rather wear those. And knowing what those smell like compared to this, I just can't wrap my head around Sauvage anymore. So yeah, Dior Sauvage is number 7 that I will not be rebuying. Moving on to number 8. This is going to annoy some people as well. Tony Iommi by Xerjoff. This is Monkey Special. They've got a couple of different versions of this. I haven't tried those, but for me, I actually really do love this fragrance. The fragrance itself for me is probably a good 9.5 out of 10. I don't love the bottle, but I don't care so much about the bottles. I think it actually looks kind of tacky, but the reason I wouldn't buy this again is that it's just too expensive. I think that for the types of events where I would wear this, generally going out somewhere that we're going to be outside, it's going to be a lot of people and you're just in one of those moods where you just want to command attention. That is where I would wear this. But I've got a lot of other fragrances like that I think I would rather wear that are half the price, if even cheaper than that. So simply because this is so expensive, even though I love it, I can get other fragrances that give me the same energy that I can wear in the same situations for way less. And because of that, even though I love it, I'm not going to be rebuying this again. So I need a second with it though, because I love how it smells. Yeah, it's incredible. Unfortunately, my partner told me that I smell like a candle, and I feel like for spending as much as you spend on something like this, you don't want to smell like a candle. You want to smell a little bit more sophisticated than that. So anyway, Xerjoff's Tony Iommi Monkey Special is number 8 that I will not be rebuying. Now we're on to the last two. So these are two fragrances that I bought intending to be signature scents. Ones that I don't really smell on other people, and I don't think I know anybody that has either of these. But I bought them intending for them to be signature scents, and I really did like them. But one of them was a kind of bit of a fail in that I loved it in store, and I spoke about this in my previous video. I loved it in store every time I tried it. But then when I bought a bottle, it just kind of fell flat. And the other one I love, but I can't actually find it anywhere. So I'm sure that I could buy it online, but I have a thing, I don't love buying fragrances online. I'd rather buy them and have the bottle and just buy it in person. So because I can't find it in person, I'm probably not going to buy another bottle. The first one is Sycamore by Chanel from the Less Exclusives line. Now, this I like, but I love the versions that I had tested more than I love my own bottle. So this, I've had it for about maybe a year and a half, and I was hoping that over time it would macerate and it would, actually develop and get a little bit deeper and richer, but it almost smells flat compared to the versions in store that I tried when I walked into the Chanel boutique. And I know this is real because I bought it from the Chanel boutique. Every time I had tried it in store, it would just lift off my skin and it would project and it would just hit me in the face with the most amazing, spicy, woody, dry fragrance. And I absolutely adored it. It was almost like effervescent. I know that that's not how it should smell, but for me, it was like almost a little bit effervescent. It was sparkling and it would just hit me in the face, and I adored it. Then I bought this bottle and I was so excited to try it that as soon as I hopped back in my car, I unwrapped it, ripped the box open, sprayed it all over myself, and I was like, damn, I think I wasted my money here. And here in Australia, we can't return fragrances if they've been used. I don't know if you can in other parts of the world, but here I've never been successful at returning a fragrance. I was so disappointed, and I spent a lot of money. I think this was like $320 or something. And I like it. It's a like, not a love. The ones I tried in store were a love. This is just a like, which really disappoints me. So Chanel Sycamore, I think this is such a cool, the bottle's classy, it's elegant. I kind of want this to be my signature scent, but I just can't get my head around it. I wish I could get the bottles from in store because they're so much better for whatever reason. That seems to happen a lot actually. I don't know what that is, but for whatever reason, the bottles in store are great. This one, it smells flat. It just doesn't, I don't really know how to explain it. It just smells flat. So unfortunately, number 9 fragrance that I won't be rebuying is Chanel Sycamore. Moving on to number 10, I do love this. This was kind of a signature scent for a while, especially for the cold weather. This is Van Cleef & Arpels Orchid Leather. Now this I really adore. I love the way that it smells. I love the bottle, and I definitely love it more. It's the middle of summer here in Australia at the moment, so I can't quite get the same vibe when I smell it, but during cold days, especially cold evenings, this is super, super upscale. For me, this smells really luxurious. It's like this boozy plum and leather, and it's incredible, but I can't find it anywhere in store. And as I was saying before, I don't like to buy fragrances online. I think I've only bought maybe 2 or 3 fragrances online ever, because I just prefer the process of going in, knowing where I'm getting it from, buying it, handing over my casual card, and bringing the fragrance home with me. I prefer that process more than I like buying online. It's just a thing. I know that you can get fragrances from reputable retailers online, but I just don't like doing it for whatever reason, and that's just my personal preference. As much as I love this, I probably won't rebuy it unless I can find it in store. If I go somewhere, I'm not sure, maybe they've got them in some bigger cities. I live in South Australia. We don't have the most amazing selection of stores here, but perhaps in bigger cities like Sydney, or if I travel somewhere overseas and they've got this, I'll probably pick it up again. But until I can find this in store, I won't be rebuying it. So that's number 10, Van Cleef & Arpels Orchid And those are the 10 fragrances that I won't be rebuying. So there's a bit of a mix there. Some of them just kind of fell flat on their faces. I thought that I would like them more than I did. Some of them I really loved when I tried the testers, and then when I bought the bottles, they just kind of fizzled out and I just didn't really like my versions. And some of them I just, can't find them, so I'm not rebuying them. Curious to hear what you guys think. I'm sure there are a lot of fragrances in this list, and some that you know as well that you absolutely love, that I, for whatever reason, won't be rebuying. Let me know. Maybe I've said one of your favorite fragrances I just don't like. Let me know. I'm open to any feedback, and any other videos that you'd like me to make, I would love for you to comment below. And if I think that it's a good idea for a video, I will absolutely make it as a video. So thanks for taking the time to watch this. If you like this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.